Hey, you guys, welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys here. What a pleasure it really is to be able to host this. Um, our stories are all different. We've come from all different walks of life, and how we got to where we are is completely different from my story, from Stacia, from Natalie's. And so, hi, my name is Nicole Kennedy. I am a double diamond leader, and to get here was not an easy task. But before I do that, I have one small confession. Is that I used to be, whenever I started this business 2 years ago, I actually, almost 2 years ago, I actually was like the biggest Gaga fan over Natalie. I watched her journey. I watched everything that she did. She played a huge role in my fitness and my progress and everything like that. So you never know who's watching, you guys, and I really want to shout that out. And now here we are working as Sideline Sisters. So it is a huge pleasure, a huge honor to be able to walk and be able to cheer each other on, and we're not even on the same team. So I really want to stress that, you guys, that it does not matter where you guys are coming from. It's just where you guys are going and who's ready to run with you. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, who I am, and how I actually got started in this business. Guys, have your tissues ready, because every time I talk about my story, I always get so emotional because it's made me who I am today. And I can't wait to share with you guys, for those of you that do not know me. So I am a single mom of two girls. I actually first got started actually as a loyal customer. I was one of Brittany Cromwell's first customers. So that is how I got started. I lost 28 pounds on my 90-day challenge. It took her 2 years to actually sign me as a distributor. So the night of July 31st, it was like 11:50 p.m. Probably about 11:50 p.m. It was the last minute of the $10 deal. I don't know how many of you guys have known or been around that long for the $10 deal, but it was like the very last seconds of that deal, and I was still apprehensive. I didn't know what I was going to do. But then she was like, just do it, just do it, just do it. It was legit like the last $20 I had in my account. So I did it. I dove right in, and I sat around for a very long time. I actually, about a year ago, was when I first hit Ruby. So it took me almost a year to hit Ruby. And then August of 2018, I hit Ruby, then Emerald, then Diamond in December, double Diamond oh my goodness, in February, which is the shortest month. Hit double Diamond in February, and my team has grown substantially like crazy ever since then. And I don't know where I'd be without my tribe. So a little bit about me. I am a single mom of two beautiful girls. I do have a teenage daughter. She's 13. And I have a 5-year-old daughter as well. They're both sassy as can be. They are legit. They keep me sane. We're a very active family. We are constantly in gymnastics, boxing, fitness, training. We are never home unless it's a rainy day. So we are always constantly go, go, go. Well, a little bit backing up, September 2018, get your tissues ready, because here we go. Here goes my yellow. It's coming out. 2018, September 12th, I'm going to remember it distinctively. I actually, I was a full-time teacher. So I actually just retired from being a full-time school teacher, preschool teacher from 2 and 3-year-olds. So I actually remember I sat in the parking lot on my lunch break, and it was payday. And I was bawling my eyes out. I went straight to the car, bawled my eyes out, because I was already in the negatives. And since I was already in the negatives, I was like, okay, payday's here. I'm going to get myself out of the negatives. Everything's going to be fine when I have enough to pay my bills. I'm not going to, ask to borrow money anymore. Everything's going to be fine. Well, that didn't happen. I didn't even have enough money to get me out of the negatives. So I cried and I bawled. And I legit sat in my car for that hour on my lunch break, and I cried out to God. I said, God, I need you. I said, I don't know what you're going to do. I know you have a plan. I know that you're going to get me out of this. I said, but I just cried and cried and cried. I said, I need you. I was in a verbally abusive marriage to an alcoholic. And I knew that things needed to change. My daughters were starting to witness what was going on. And I knew that something had to come about this. Well, that day in the car, I heard the Holy Spirit cry out to me. And I distinctly heard, don't worry, my child, I have you. And that's exactly what happened. From September 12th, 2018, I found a runner that was ready to go, two actually, that were ready to go and wanted this business as bad as I did. So, also September 12th, after that month or whatever, it was towards the end of the month, I was pushing for Emerald that month. I was 150 BV short. I was okay. It was also the same month that the hurricane came in, and we had to leave our home. Fire rescue came around and said that, hey, we need you to evacuate immediately. The floods are coming in fast. So we had to pack up, put up everything that we could to the highest levels, had to pack everything up. And so that night we had to stay in a shelter. It was towards the end of the month, and I was so close. I was working my fingers off as much as I could to achieve Emerald that month. I was so close. I was okay. So we even left and we went up towards Greenville, South Carolina. Had to go stay with my sister that month. So there were so many factors into it, but I still stayed motivated. I still stayed, my mindset was there. No matter what was going on around me, I knew how much this was going to change my life, how much it was going to change my girls' lives. So I knew that no matter what, I didn't need to stop. My mother drove all the way there, all the way home, and my fingers were just nonstop. I didn't hit it, 150 away, but that's okay. Because November 2018, I went diamond. And so December of 2018, I first saw my first diamond check. My first diamond check, I dropped to the ground. Thank God. Because without him, I wouldn't have anything that I have now. I was able to get off of food stamps, all the government assistance. I was able to open up a savings account. I was able to start paying off debt, over $47,000 in debt. I was able to pay that off. I was able to take care of my kids for once. My director of the preschool, she pulled me into her office. I remember December of that month. She pulled me into her office and she said, Nikki, because that was what my kids called me and everything, Miss Nikki. She said, Nikki, she goes, I know how bad you've been struggling. Do you need me to put your kids on the angel tree? I said, not this year. I'm able to take people off the angel tree. And that's exactly what I did. I was able to pull 3 names off the angel tree and able to give back. That's what this business has done for me. So ever since then, I've had a tribe that has been behind me and running beside me. I don't know what I would do without our dream catchers, because they've been my biggest motivation. My Sideline sisters, because there was endless nights of where we would just be up until 3 o'clock in the morning just working, because we knew the next promotion was going to change our lives. And that's exactly what's happened. I have paid $4,000 off ever since then, from that point off on my debt, between December and when I went double diamond. And then ever since then, I've been paying down on my debt. So that is just a little bit of the story that I have for you guys, is that you don't want to give up. There is going to be days where you feel so defeated and everything is in your way and the enemy is trying to get at you. He's trying to put everything in your path to stop you from succeeding. You cannot let that enemy in. You can't. He wants to rip you apart, and he wants to make sure that you don't succeed. And let me tell you guys, screaming from the mountaintops is so amazing, because you know that you did it, and you know that you're worth it. You definitely know that you're worth it. And so my top 3 tips that I would recommend for you guys is 1, journal, journal, and journal. Every single morning before you pick this up in the morning, you guys, journal. Write down exactly what you want, exactly where you see yourself, the amount of money that you see yourself making, what you want to do with your family. Write it all down. Do not slow down. If you have 4 pages one day, you have 4 pages one day. I remember the days whenever my parents used to take me and we used to go travel in the summer. Well, now that I retired, I'm able to do that. I'm able to give my kids the same experience that I had, because those are the memories that I had and that I love so much. And now we get to go on our first real vacation. We leave Saturday morning, and we get to go for 2 weeks because we can, because I'm able to pick up and I'm able to go. And I don't have anything tying me back anymore, because I worked hard enough to do this, because I've earned it. So that's my first tip, is to journal like crazy. And of course, self-motivation. I think they go hand in hand. The second tip that I really, really want to reach out to you guys is grab onto somebody and run together. You have to. Because those days when you feel so defeated and feel like the world is just crashing down on you and you can't get out of that funky mindset, you have to say, okay, hey girl, dude, something's going on with my head. Can you hop on Zoom with me and can you run with me? I have 2 that do that with me all the time. And I don't know what I'd do without them. And so that's the thing, like, you have to have somebody that just gets you, that really and truly just gets you, and run with them. Zooms are amazing. Hop on them. Hop on power hours. Hop on work Zooms. If somebody just says, hey, I opened up my Zoom today, you want to come work with me? Yes. If you have the opportunity, do it. Because the collaboration is absolutely amazing. They might help you find something that you never even thought of. So I really want to tell you guys, that's my second tip. And then my third tip, I'm not green whatsoever. I have like 2% green, you guys. So I just want to let you guys know that I have like 2% green, but a checklist is amazing. If you don't know what you're supposed to be doing in your business every single day, and you don't know how to divide up your time throughout the day because you feel like you're constantly on this answering messages, break it up, you guys. If you have a long checklist, do half of it in the morning, half of it at night, especially if you're parents. You know, I get it. Believe me, I get it. My kids run me crazy all the time. We're constantly doing something. But wake up early enough to do half of it, and then stay up a little bit later to do the rest of it, because it's worth it. It's so worth it. So those are my top 3 tips. If I really had to give any, those are them. We're going to answer questions at the very end. And I'm pretty sure that Stasia is going to go next. So, yep, exactly. Everybody's worth it. So Stasia is going to go next. I'm going to find her. She's going to talk about her story.
Okay, hey guys. Of course Nicole calls on me. Okay, so my name is Stasia Edgerton. I joined 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago in February. I'm not gonna look at the chat because I get super distracted. So I joined 3 years ago in February, and I did literally nothing for 2 years. Like, not a thing. It was almost 2 years. And then I love you, Angel. And then something changed. Like, my why, okay, for first thing, my why changed from the time I started until almost 2 years in. I I'm not going to go into detail, but I left North Carolina from a really, really, really bad relationship. Like, literally picked up and moved back to Florida in 24 hours. It was that bad. And 2 weeks later, my grandpa died, which was literally my best friend, and I was literally torn. Like, I was an emotional disaster. Like, it was literally the worst thing. Oh, someone's calling me. Hold on. Okay, it was literally the worst thing I ever went through. And then 2 weeks later, I met my now husband. Well, we were together for almost a year, and he got hurt at work. He was put on workman's comp. It was right after Hurricane Irma. He got hurt at work, and they literally stopped paying him. Workman's comp is no fun, so they stopped paying him completely. And at this time, we had Christmas cash. This was November 2017. And we had Christmas cash at the time. So basically, if you weren't around for that, it was like a point system. I think it was like every customer was a point, every DT was 2 points, and at 5 points, you got $100 bonus on Friday. So I ran with that. I ended up paying all of our bills with Christmas cash. I was able to buy Aaron a Christmas present. I was also able to give him a little bit of money to buy me something since he was hurt and wasn't bringing in any income. So I think it was over $1,000, to be honest, that I earned in 2 months, not including my commission, just Christmas cash. And it was literally changed my life. So my thought was, okay, if I can do this now, why can't I keep doing it? So I ran with that fire. In January, I went Ruby, and then I wasn't able to go to conference because he just had ankle surgery like a week before and literally couldn't walk. So I was taking care of him. And they announced, well, I couldn't go to conference, but he told me to go to Kay Souter's party and like go for the night because I only live a few hours away from Tampa. So I went. And I was sitting in the car waiting for everyone to get out of conference to meet them for dinner. And Mark announced a $5,000 Emerald bonus. And I just sat there. I was like, okay, like, this bonus is mine. I don't even know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it because $5,000 would be super nice right now. So I saw Brittany Cromwell. She's my upline. And I was like, Brittany, like, I don't care what I have to do, but I'm going to get this bonus. And she looked at me like, okay, you're going to get this bonus. But I could tell she didn't believe I was going to get that bonus. So basically, after that, I literally took off. I went Emerald, and I earned that $5,000 bonus in February, the shortest month of the year. Then I went Diamond in March, and then I went Double. This was all last year, and then I went Double in August. And it has completely changed everything for me. We're in the process of paying off debt. We are building a savings account. Aaron's actually home with me. I was able to be there for every single surgery he had. Well, he had one surgery, but like he had like little things in between. Every doctor's appointment, he had 3 to 4 doctor's appointments a week. He couldn't drive. He had to go to the lawyer. Like, he literally had me going crazy. But this business allowed me to be there with him. And now we actually got married December 31st. That was completely paid for in cash. It wasn't a big wedding, but we literally planned it in 3 days, so it was kind of crazy. We have a dog, so I'm a dog mom, and now we are possibly moving to Tennessee after the diamond retreat, and green carpet and all the things. So yeah, that's pretty much my story. But this business has completely changed my life, like 100%. I honestly don't don't know where I'd be without this business, because before I started this, I was working in accounting, and then I moved and I was working for a pool company making minimum wage. So I literally wasn't making enough to even pay my car payment. Like, and my car payment's not that expensive. So 3 quick tips I could give you. Um, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your why. If you don't know what your why is, self-development is key. Like, it took me forever to find my why, because when I started, I just wanted an extra $50 a month to get my nails done. Like, that's it. Like, I had a full-time job, I had my own apartment. So do not ever give up on yourself. Find your why and run with it, because once you find that and get that fire, it's going to change everything. Because I have a girl on my team. She was like, I don't know who my why is. I don't like, and she's been at a standstill. And now she knows her why, and she is literally taking off. So just find that why. And my second one is find an accountability partner, just like Nicole said. Try and find someone that's out of your team, because me and Nicole are both under Katie and Brittany, but we're not on like we're not under each other. So it's same with Natalie. Find someone outside of your team and run with them. Like, literally, I can have the worst day ever, and I'll call Nicole and be like, hey, like, let's hop on Zoom. I need to get some things done. And she literally snaps me out of it just like that. And journaling. I hired a business coach last year after our diamond retreat, and she literally drilled me into doing journaling. And I journal every single morning. I don't know if everyone knows what journaling is, so I'll go a little over it real quick before Natalie talks. Basically, you're writing down what you want to happen like it's already happened. So I write down every morning, I am triple diamond. I am a money magnet, because whenever you say I'm a money magnet, you attract money. Then I attract money daily. Like, I literally write down, it can be business, personal, whatever you want. But journaling will literally change everything. You just have to write everything down. And like Nicole said, some days I write down 5. Some days I write down 6 pages. So do whatever it takes.
Awesome. Thank you, Stasia. I'll let you mute yourself. Did you mute yourself? Okay. All right, Natalie, I'm coming for you. No, I'm trying to tell you, I used to fangirl over Natalie like crazy. So for us to be collaborating now, like, I'm just like, oh my God, I love it. All right, you should be muted.
Hey guys, thank you for that marvelous introduction, Nicole. I don't know why I deserve that, but my name is Natalie Nicole Sahetska. I just celebrated 3 amazing years in May. So I joined in 2016. If you don't know my story, I'm gonna try and speak what's on my heart, because my story is deep, but I wrote some notes, but who knows where this will go. So I joined not really knowing or wanting to join, if that makes sense. I had people, messaging me on Instagram and wanting me to be a product model, following up with me, all that jazz. And I wanted nothing to do with the company because I didn't know what it was, right? We fear the unknown. So I tried to rap. Long story short, tried to rap, fell in love with it. And they said, for $40 more, you can make a paycheck and become a distributor instead of just buying the raps. Sign me up. I rather make money than spend it. So I jumped in. I was bartending at the time, like 5-6 days a week. I was picking up personal training clients on the side. I was doing online coaching. I've always been like a hustler, and like I'll always find a way to make money. That's kind of like always been my mentality. So when you tell me that we can make unlimited $100 weekly bonuses, sign me up. That's kind of what I focus on, is the fast starts. And I'll get into why in a little bit. But knowing that we have our hands on something that is just absolutely life-changing is incredible. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me backtrack. So when I first joined, I went Ruby in 2 months because at the time Mark was doing the cruise, and don't threaten me with a good time. So he said, if you go Ruby, you get like all these extra points to earn your cabin on the cruise. So that's what motivated me in the beginning is I started running for that cruise ship. I got on the cruise, then went to one of my first events, like when I was 5 months in, surrounded myself with people that, you know, had this vision. And at first, you guys, I just wanted like extra money. I was just like, I'd rather like just make some money, you know, like I don't care what it is, but it's going to be more money than what I had. That was my mentality, you know, $500 extra a month, what, you know, what most people say. And then when I went on the cruise, when I went to my first OTOM at the time, and I seen people on stage that looked just like me making $30,000 a month, I was like, why not me? So that's what helped me catch the vision. So if you haven't gone to an event yet, or if you haven't physically been in the same room as some of these people that you know or look up to, do that. Like that should be your number one priority. Because if it wasn't for that, I would not be here, and we all would not be on the Zoom, because if it wasn't for, you know, connecting with people, like it's a domino effect. But then I was gonna say 5 months in, I went Emerald, earned the $500 Ruby bonus, the cruise ship, then Emerald, and then Diamond in 7 months. And that's when I stopped bartending. I got to the point that I was so unhappy in that toxic environment that I did whatever it took to get myself out of it. I would stay up late. I would be enrolling customers in between pouring drinks. I would be, you know, listening to any and every Zoom self-development that I could find, and just knew that I was always worthy of more, but I dropped out of college. So I was like, all right, how am I going to make this happen? But the fact that we don't prejudge in this, that you don't have to have a degree, like that is absolutely incredible. So if you're on here and you're like, I don't know what I want to do in life, maybe this is your purpose, because this business gave me purpose. So fast forward, conference came. You guys, I had $15 in my bank account when I went to conference. No one knew that. I couldn't afford to eat out after conference with my team, so I just went and said I wasn't hungry. Meanwhile, I was starving. If I didn't get a fast start every single week at the time, I didn't eat. So those $100 bonuses, like they are life-changing for people. I was one of those people. So, but you had no idea. Like I never posted that I was struggling. I never posted that, you know, I couldn't afford something. Like it was always like, I'm doing good, but behind the scenes, it was not good. My account was always in the negative. Like people don't know that. I maxed out all my credit cards. I stopped paying on them. So when I'm telling y'all that this business like saved me in so many ways, it's not even funny. But like I said, $15 in my bank account, couldn't afford gas, food, would put $5 in the gas tank. And then I went to a conference. And then right after conference, I went double diamond, because you get filled up. And, you know, that was 50,000 in bonuses between the accounts. And then, you know, life was up and down. You know, this business is really easy to do, but it's really easy not to do, right? So I had to learn, I had to develop systems. I had to learn how to be a leader and how to talk to my team and how to not, you know, push people away and how to not drag people. And, you know, I'm going into this because I feel like people think that it's just like this marvelous uphill journey. You guys, it's not. It goes through trial and error, and you just have to give it time. So one of the tips, I'm kind of just going to bounce all over the place, but one of my tips is just you have to commit and don't quit, because you're going to get to where you want to go as long as you put in the work, as long as you're consistent. And consistency is my number one tip, you guys. You have to put in the footwork, you know, every day, at least 1 foot in. Some days I message all day long. Some days I message 3 people back, because I'm doing other things to develop myself and to develop my team and develop my business. So just know that it's not an overnight success. It's not gonna, you know, be always easy, but it's going to be worth it. And I know that Nicole kind of really hit on that, how worth it is, because you can just do so much because of what you do for that short amount of time. It's like you got to give up the good to get the great. And I just know that if you're not making this plan A, then it's never going to become plan A. Like you have to treat this like do or die. And that's what I did. And I'm not saying that's for everyone, but that's what I needed to do. So I threw in the towel on, you know, Diamond Income, then quickly after that promoted to double, and then was just kind of, you know, figuring things out. I wanted to go triple for a long time, and it's like the stars weren't aligning. I felt like something was holding me back. And this business got me closer to God. I started praying, and I had a breakdown, and I'm like, God, how do I get to the next level? Like, just help me figure this out. I felt like this hamster wheel. And then that same day I had a breakup happen. And since then, I feel like I've had these chains like released from me. And just recently, I promoted my mom's account to Diamond in March, earned her a $10,000 bonus. Then 2 months later, last month, I promoted my mom to Double Diamond and my dad to Diamond. So that's another 35,000 in bonuses, totaling to now 85,000 in bonuses in 3 years. And it's just incredible what this can do for you if you don't quit, because I never thought about quitting ever, but just know that it's not always easy. And I feel like that's like what keeps coming to heart, is just knowing that you can become successful, and your journey and your story you go through for a reason. So that way you can then help your team and you can help people, go through it too. And if it wasn't for personal development, I just see mindset is key. People ask me, how did you do it? Like, how did you not lose your shit? Sorry for profanity, but it's true. Like, it's because I kept working on myself. It's because this business, guys, we get paid to become better people. Do you realize that? And to help other people become better. So when I always was reading, and like The Secret is Law, like, what you believe and what you think is going to happen. And I just always knew, like, I'm going to be happy one day. I'm going to be ambassador one day. I'm going to find love again one day. Like, I always knew. And then it started happening. So one thing I do want to also touch on, because I had a bunch of one-on-ones today with my team, and I told all of them this too. And they're like, it's silly. I don't want to do it. And I'm like, listen, I didn't want to do it either. And I would hear people journaling, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I just didn't want to do it. Y'all, last month, May 2nd, was my first journal entry. I promoted my parents' accounts, which is my stepping stone for me going triple this month. So I was journaling almost every day. Some days you skip, some days, like they say, you write a paragraph, some days it's an essay. And you just have to speak what you want. And that's what I started doing. I write in this journal, okay? And as if it's happened, and it is happening. So try it. Trust us, because I didn't want to do it either. And then I had a sideline that she went Double Diamond, and she didn't really know that she was going to do it, but she just started journaling it. And then it just kind of happened. She's like, I didn't know. It just kind of happened. I'm like, okay. She showed me her entry, like how she kind of wrote it. I just needed to see that visual. And I was like, all right, pen to paper. And I just got to work. And then I started stepping up for my team more, and I started doing things more. But it's because I decided that I was promoting. Promoting is a decision. So if you're sitting here and you've been out of rank, or if you feel stuck, you have to make a decision. But you have to figure out where you're going first. What is your why, and why do you want to do it? So now, back then, you guys know, like I said, it was not easy. It was a lot of struggle that I had a lot of pride and I didn't talk about, but now things are progressing away from that. I am chipping away at my debt. I got serious about my debt, and I thank Ashley Mayfield, in their journey and tried for that, because it really motivated me. Like, if they could do it, I can do it, same mentality. So I read Total Money Makeover. I finally have a savings. I've never had a savings in my life because I like to shop. So the fact that I have an emergency fund, that's because of this business, okay? Because of this business. Now I'm able to pack up and move cross state next month, because I can, because I have the freedom to. I don't have to ask a boss, for a job in Vero Beach. I can just pick up and go. I've traveled to events all over the United States, basically, because of this business. Anytime I can show up to go up, I'm going to try and go, so that's been something that was huge for me on my dream board. Like, I wanted to travel, I wanted to experience life. And I just went to Austin, Asheville, Dallas last year, Michigan. Like, that's because of this business. Everything is paid in cash. I don't use credit cards because they're maxed out, and because of my mentality when I was in my 20s, I stopped paying on them. So you guys, I started getting sued by credit card companies. I have my third lawsuit next week, where I have to go to court. And you know what I'm going to do when we get paid? I'm going to call them up and be like, hi, how can we settle this? And I'm going to pay that all off because of this business. So just know that if you're stuck, just keep going, because things are going to start unfolding. And I never thought that I would do network marketing. I didn't know what network marketing was. So it just takes, time. That's pretty much the last tip I want to say, is just to be patient. Like Ashley says, be aggressively patient, and just work at it every day. And something else that I wrote down is that you have to fall in love with the products, okay? Coming from a personal training standpoint, coming from, someone that competed in bikini bodybuilding, like, you need you need to walk the walk. You know, you can talk about the products all day long, but people want to see your results. People want to know that you know what you're doing and know what you're taking and what you're talking about. And I'm not saying be a total green and know the ingredients. I'm just saying that if you are confident, it's because, like, if you're confident, you become confident with the products because of your results with the products, when you're genuinely in love with it, when you're using them. So hair, skin, and nails saved my hair in the beginning. That's all I would preach about. I had like fried blonde hair back in the day. And that's all I would talk about. The wrap got me started in this. Then, Confianza, like I just posted that, I need to take this because I'm about to speak in front of all y'all. Like, showing people that you're using it and that you're real and that you're raw and that you do, have anxiety or that you are stressed, like being vulnerable with your audience, with your goals in the fitness aspect of it, not just with the, the financial aspect of it. That's going to allow customers and distributors to flood into your inbox because you're being real and they need that too. So, falling in love with the products. That's my other tip, is that if you don't have a passion for what you're trying to promote, people can sense that. Okay. Copy and paste only gets you so far. Like, you need to genuinely be in love with it, have results. And it doesn't mean you have to have weight loss results, because like Nicole said, I've been in fitness all the time. So it just have to find something that works for you.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree. If your why does not make you thrive, you need to find a new why, because this business can deliver. God will deliver. You just have to focus and put your time and energy into him, and just say, okay, lead me, because you know that you have a purpose as to why you're already here. Now you just have to figure out what your next steps are. And so just writing it down and talking about it and, running and using all these tips, you guys, like you just have to dig deep down inside of you and know why you started this business to begin with. Even if, and let me tell you, my why has changed so many times. One, it was to get out of where I was, get out of the situation I was in. The next why was to help my mom so that my mom doesn't have to pay for a single thing anymore. Then the next why is so that my girls, they get to travel and experience life that I never got to experience because I was constantly working. And so your why is going to continuously change, but it should make you tremble. It should make your heart just, I'm talking, melt, because it's exactly what you need in order to strive higher. So yes, thank you, ladies. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love that we can join together and be able to tell you guys that this yes, we come up, over, and some days are just hard and you just want to just throw your phone against the wall. Yes, guilty as charged. I want to do that so many days, but the next day I get back up and I do it all over again. Why? It's because, one, I love what I do. And two, because I know that it's going to help my family and my girls in the long run. So you have to dig deep and you have to know exactly why you started this business in order to make your success shine. All right, you guys, what questions do you guys have for us? Thanks, y'all. All right. Just kind of going through to see if there was. Okay, so building relationships. One, you have to be as original as possible. Once you are as original as possible, and you have to, don't just add people to add people. Okay, that's the one first and foremost thing. Do not add people just to click an ad and have them on your timeline. Go through certain groups and stuff like that you can relate to. So let's say if you love Rae Dunn, go to Rae Dunn groups, add people from there, because you guys, one, that goes something to already automatically start with, is you have something in common. Okay, and you can be able to be relatable. So whenever their post pops up in their feed, you can sit there and say, oh my gosh, I have that cup, I love that cup, or I love Rae Dunn stuff, where did you get that from? Is there a place I can order? So that's the one thing that I highly recommend. Don't just add people to add people. You want to add from groups that you are able to relate to. So I know for myself, I add from fitness groups. because that's my main thing is I add from Fit Moms. And then I'm able to, whenever they post about their workouts with their kids or whatever, I'm able to say, dude, I want to be able to do that workout. Can you send me what you did? You know, like I always end things with a question, either on a comment or in their stories, because that's how you're going to build a relationship. Don't just make a comment to make a comment. Add a question at the very end so that there's comment after comment after a comment, and you're building that relationship. Another thing that I recommend doing, building relationships, is don't just put happy birthday on their timeline. Hop in their inbox and say, hey, I really want to reach out to you and tell you happy birthday. What do you have planned for today? So be able to do that. Don't just send them a happy birthday on their timeline. I'm finding you, Natalie. Okay.
So when you were talking, it's just like aha moment, because we are in a people business, you guys. So you have to get good with talking and working and being around people, right? So what better way is to learn people and like how we are categorized in a sense. And there's lots of different ways that, you know, people are categorized, like, you know, horoscopes, love languages, all that. But the color personalities, I know that corporate has been focusing on this, and it's for a reason. Our corporate is smart. They pick up on stuff. They know what they're doing. You know, all the training events talk about this, conference, you know, boot camps. And this book, if you can only afford one book, or you only, you know, have time to read one chapter a night, y'all, this book is what I feel like changed the game for me in the last 3 months, that, you know, helped me pop my mom to double diamond. And she double promoted from no, my dad double promoted from diamond. He was at ruby to diamond. But it's like the boom comes because you get better at this. Okay, you get better at this business the more that you do it, and the more that you learn and read. This teaches you how to talk to people in a sense of what's going to help them click with you and relate with you, and that's building a relationship, right? If you know how to you know, with psychology, how to lead the conversation to better understand that person, or to better relate with that person, then you are going to build that trust faster, which results into sales and, you know, them joining your team. So, like, I pick up on cues, and it's because of this book. I hands down, like, give so much credit to this book, because it helps you so much, because you just know how to talk to people better. And that's what we do, you guys. We talk to people for a living. And if you know how to talk to a specific person in a way that is going to propel your business, like, wouldn't you want to learn that? So that's what I recommend. It's called The 4 Color Personalities for MLM. It's on Amazon. I think it was like $9. The Secret Language for Network Marketing. And it's based for our business. Like, they tell you exactly how to pitch that color prospect, and it's going to help you with your team too, because your team, you know, may be struggling, and maybe you're a red, and maybe you're telling them, you know, to focus about fast starts, focus on writing posts about the money, but that doesn't connect with them or their audience, because we are around usually people that are like us, right? So if they're a yellow and they have, you know, yellows on their friends list, you telling that person to talk about money, that's not going to like work as well as you saying how many people we're helping with our products. You see what I'm saying? Or helping families, you know, put food on the table. It just teaches you how to basically pitch and talk.
Yep, that book has changed my whole entire business. It's changed my whole entire business. It's changed how I talk to, you know, relate to my team. I'm not going to say talk to my team, but how I related to my team. I was able to, you know, reach out, and I found out exactly what color everybody was. And I was able to just talk more into them and spill more into them, because I knew exactly what they needed, because it tells you, it points out the key words that's going to attract them and how they're going to learn personally. But building relationships with people and stuff like that, you just have to always comment on things that end with a question. That's what I've always thought. That's what I've always done.
It keeps the conversation going, because if someone sees a question, psychology says that they're more likely to answer because you're asking a question. And as far as like building relationships with customers, that has been a game changer, because I feel like I convert like 75% to becoming distributors because I stay in contact with them. And that's what we do. You build relationships by just staying in contact with them. Hey, how's it going? Hey, did you get your product okay? And I feel like sometimes with Hosted Post, like this is something I had to had a little shift because Hosted Post blew up in recent, right? So it's like we don't really build that relationship with them. We pitch them, we get them signed up, and then it's like, you have to work at the relationship after the fact. At least that's how I feel it is with me. I don't know, the same for everyone, but when you focus on getting to know them and talking with them, all they want is just to know that you care about them versus it just being a dollar sign, right? And then they're gonna keep ordering because you're checking in, you're making sure they're good and they're getting results. And I just found that with Hosted Post, it's kind of backwards. Like you have to maybe build the relationship after they already sign up because you get them interested in the product, and then it's like you need to retain them, right? And work on that. I don't know if Nicole, you guys, feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. After I actually get to, get them signed up or whatever, then it's like, it's like, oh, okay. But they're like, okay, well, what else can I use? And then it just becomes a whole relationship. Stacia, I'm also going to unmute you too, so that you can chime in whenever you need to. There we go. So that you can chime in whenever you need to. And then somebody else, and I think this is more of one of y'all, is feeling stuck and not knowing how to pick up and run after you fall back.
I can answer that real quick. So basically, you guys know I kind of worked for 2 years, but I didn't work to promote. So basically what I did was I dug into self-development. I took a day, I put my phone away. And even now, if I ever have one of those bad days, I put my phone away for the day and I work on me. I do self-development. I make sure I journal everything out. I journal out all my emotions. I learned this. If I'm having a bad day and I'm having bad thoughts, I can't do this, whatever my thoughts are, I journal them out, rip up the paper and throw them in a garbage can that's not at my house. So those feelings are gone. That's changed everything. So you really just need to dig into self-development, dig into journaling, and take the day yourself. Do something that's going to make you happy. If you going on a walk makes you happy, if you going to the gym makes you happy, I don't care what it is. It could be something so simple that other people think is crazy. Do that, because now me going to the gym is what makes me happy. That just recently started, so now I do that every single day. So I make sure that I'm on the right track with my mindset. So self-development, journaling, and just do something that makes you happy, and just do it. I know that's probably hard for you to hear, but you just have to jump back in and just start and do that checklist we have and just run with it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You have to take time for yourself or else you're going to fail forward.
I don't know who said this, but I heard that inactivity leads to sadness, and action leads to happiness, basically. So as long as you're doing something, you're putting in work and you're messaging or you're posting or you're reading or you're doing something that's action towards your business, it's gonna fall into place. You just got to get a win. Wins excite you, right? So when you find a customer, when you follow up until you get that distributor, that's what's gonna jumpstart that passion and that excitement again. So you just got to start doing. There's never gonna be the right time to jump in. You just have to do. I feel
Yep, I agree. When is the right time if they want to join your team or purchase? You know what? I was actually just thinking about it, and I'm pretty sure all of my team members were actually my LCs. I'm trying to think if one person was not one of my LCs. So always ask your LCs. Because if you're not asking them, because one, they already have a testimony. So if you're not asking them, then, how, it's not going to hurt anything whatsoever. If they say, no, I just want to enjoy the product. Okay, that's fine. But, if you ever think about it, you already have something to fall back on. Like, you already use the products, you know how they taste, you know how they work, and so on and so forth. So always ask your LCs. That's my 2 point. I was actually just thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's somebody on my team that was not just somebody random, but I think everybody was an LC before they joined our team.
So how I would answer that question is, it's not, hang on, let me see, where is it? When's the right time to ask if they want to join your team purchase? The answer is always no unless you ask. So you just have to ask, and then it's up to them and their timing when they're going to join you. Our job is just to offer the opportunity and the business, and then it's up to them what they want and when they want it, right? So that's how I would say. You just have to ask, plant that seed, water it, sprout it, keep doing your posting. Your posts are like an indirect follow-up. So if you are doing the things and you're showing the proof in the pudding, like, that's gonna speed up, them wanting to join or whatever. But you always have to ask. I was asked. Nicole and Stasha, were you guys asked?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For the longest time.
Place, right time. I got booked for a last minute photo shoot, and I was like, I could use a wrap. And then that's why I tried it. It's because right place, right time. So if you keep asking and you don't give up on people, you never know when they're going to need it. Because I was that person that called this a scam and said no for 2 years. So you just never know when the right time's going to come.
Yep. I agree. All right, let's see. What else do we have? All right. Let's see, right time and any time was supposed lots of response and post about meeting job and so many other reasons. If they do post about the income or something, don't just like, me personally, I'm a yellow. So I'm going to be like, hey, how are you? Like, I'm going to comment on a whole bunch of their stuff first before I hop in their inbox. So that's just me being a yellow and me being genuine with what I have to say, and, just kind of building the relationship, planting the seed, just exactly what Caitlin said, planting the seed. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions for us? Perhaps any last thoughts or anything like that you guys want to talk about?
I just want to say I'm so proud of everyone who stayed on.
I just want to say I'm so thankful for these two, Stasia and Nicole, because if it wasn't for them last month, I wouldn't have promoted my parents' accounts. I already know. They were there for me, and we would work late and bounce ideas. And it's like they said, find people that you vibe with, find your tribe, find, sidelines. And I have lots of accountability partners sideline, like Casey Brookover. She's like my main squeeze, that we bounce ideas off all the time too. But you have to, and then like, we work late, me and Nicole, we stay up late. And you have to find people for, different things. Someone may help motivate you and be accountable on Zoom. Someone may help you with a tip for, scripts. Like, this business is incredible in a sense, like, friendships are priceless, you guys. Like, you can create the most genuine friendships from this business. And I've never had that before in a workplace, right? Like, I used to get isolated. I used to get singled out. I used to get, talked behind my back. And I feel like with this, like, everyone's like on your team, like, they're cheering you on. They want to see you succeed because they're also, you're also wanting them to succeed. And it's so awesome. Like, I love you guys, and I'm just so thankful for you because y'all have helped me push, and all the sidelines and my team, like, it all just kind of came together. But it wouldn't have happened if we didn't collaborate. And that's why I wanted to get to know you guys better and do the Zoom and share our stories. And I know that we always have something to offer someone else, so hopefully you guys got something out of this. And everyone's story is deep. I know we all have a lot deeper stories than what we usually say, and that's okay. It comes and goes, when you're ready to share it. And just know that if you haven't started sharing your story, start. That's going to help relationships, I think, faster than anything, because you're allowing yourself to be relatable, to open up to people, and to get that door, open to talk to people.
I 100% agree. If you're not sharing your story at least once a week, at least some version of it, the short version or the long version, You guys are truly missing out, because you never know who's going through the same thing that could have used that. You never know who has been watching you, or who is just following you, or anything like that. So whether you're posting about it or you're putting it in your stories as like a story art, some way, shape, or form, the short version or the long version, you guys just talk about it. One is you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel absolutely amazing, because you're like, oh my gosh, I just let that off my chest, because you're human. You're so human. And we all go through stuff, and that's okay. And to share it and say, I mean, you don't have to share like your whole entire like downpour, but you know, the snippets that could impact somebody else's life, because we're exactly how Brittany has started it. We're in a race to inspire. We're health coaches, you guys. We're health coaches. We're lifestyle coaches. We are moms and parents, and just college students, and you know, just everything, like on a mission, and we all have the same goal in mind. We all want fun, freedom, and money, and we have to, it's just like you have to share that in order for somebody to sit there and pour into you and trust you. Because if you want to grow in your business, you have to get that trust. And to talk about who you are is for others to be able to say, okay, I finally trust you with my credit card, or I finally trust you to lead me in success with this business. So it's really important to share your story. All right. Anything else, y'all? All right, I'm going to stop the recording.